Today we have in our midst the Ambassador of India to Nepal, His Excellency Mr. Vinay Mohan Kwatra ji. He is a career diplomat from the Indian Foreign Service with over 32 years of experience. He has represented India in South Africa, Uzbekistan, China and USA. He has worked as Joint Secretary in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's office from 2015 to 2017. This is not his first time in Kathmandu. He has spent nearly 4 years from 2006 to 2010 and worked in the SAARC Secretariat as head of the Trade, Economy and Finance Bureau. Before coming to Nepal, he served as India's ambassador in France. Dear listeners, India is celebrating its 75th anniversary of independence next year in August. It is a happy and proud moment for Nepal and the people of Nepal that a friendly neighboring country with which we share civilizational relations has come thus far, occupies an important place in the world polity and continues to grow stronger. In today's program, Ambassador Kwatra will also give us a primer on how India is gearing up to celebrate its 75 years of independence and what does it mean for relations bilateral between India and Nepal. During the program, we will know more about Ambassador Kwatra as a person, as a diplomat, and his work in Nepal. Ambassador, a warm welcome to you on our podcast and thank you for making time. We are very happy to have you on our show. Namaste.
Namaste, Rita ji. Thank you very much for your words of welcome and very generous introduction of mine. I am also equally delighted and very happy to be a part of your program and this opportunity that you have provided me to share my experiences and impressions both in my personal capacity and what Indian Embassy plans to do at India at 75. I would like to thank you for giving me that opportunity and very happy to be here. Namaste and thank you very much.
Ambassador, first and foremost, my listeners and I myself want to know, has Kathmandu changed since you stay in 2006? What are your impressions?
I think, Rita ji, it would be fair to say that much has changed, but a lot is there which has not changed.
Okay.
You would agree with me that for any society, phenomena continuous change is the only thing which is constant. Change is something which is always an intrinsic part of any society and I think Kathmandu is no exception. If I was to compare the Kathmandu of today from Kathmandu of 2006 to 10 when I was last here, I would say that Kathmandu of today has a much stronger buzz of business, a large number of entrepreneurial startups that we see. There is a different vivacious, youthful energy in the city. There's plenty of construction. Kathmandu youth, full of energy, drive and purpose. I would say yes, COVID has changed the way we, as societies we engage among ourselves. But I think Kathmandu's energy and the robust dynamism that the city presents, that is very difficult to miss. And I think that is definitely of a much enhanced proportions now than it was in 2006 to 10 that I was here. What has not changed? Well, for me personally, from my personal perspective, I would say Nepal's deep spirituality, Kathmandu's deep spirituality, the blessings and the ringing of bells of Pashupatinathji, the hymns of Buddhist monasteries around Kathmandu, the sights of the snow-clad Himalayas on a clear day from Kathmandu. I think all these things which actually nurture your soul, they have remained unchanged. And along with that, I would say the welcome warmth of our Nepali friends and the society is also something which has not changed at all. So I would say the core human values of our people, I think that has not changed. But the modernity layer on the top of it has changed for better. I would say both for Nepal and both in a certain sense for the India-Nepal relationship.
Okay, drawing from my first question and presuming that you like Kathmandu, let me ask you, what is your favorite thing about Kathmandu?
It will be a little unfair of me to point out, one favorite thing about Kathmandu. You see, last year, as you all know, as your listeners would also know, that the whole world and Nepali society in Kathmandu, living is no exception, has had to adapt to a different lifestyle because of COVID. We have not been able to go out. In the initial parts of COVID months of last year, from April well till October, November, the streets were deserted. The city was off and on under lockdown. So as an embassy and as a society, I'm sure, we were all battling with the phenomena of COVID-19 and its impact. So the focus and the priority was to protect our people from COVID-19 infection. Having said that, at a very personal level, there are things which are unique about Kathmandu, which I, at least from my perspective, like.
Okay.
First, as I mentioned a little bit earlier also, in my personal view, Kathmandu possesses the unique beauty of its beliefs and culture which are preserved. They have not diluted with time. They have remained preserved.
Yes.
And I think also a point which I made earlier, but another way, it's also a place where modernity and antiquity of its culture, civilization, its spirituality, modernity of its people, its society, its economy, they both seem to blend seamlessly and, more importantly, I would say very happily. They blend together happily, seamlessly, and weave a mosaic of life which is unique to Nepal and to Kathmandu. I think for me that's my favorite thing. But if you want to, talk about things that we do in our daily existence, which I like from my personal perspective, I would say walk around its various temples, the well-known ones, but also the ones which are not well-known. They are also profound. They provide a profound guidance to individual self in terms of your own guidance when you seek out spirituality. My personal favorite, I will say, will be a very quiet and delicious cup of Nepali coffee at one of the Himalayan Java outlets. I won't tell you which one. A stroll in the forest above Buddha Nilkant. This is a nice one. Live music by young bands in Darbar Square. Or sight of beautiful Rani Pokhri. These are all small joys, small pleasures, but I think they tend to define around which at least, when I visit a coffee outlet, the Nepali youth, you see a different aspect of them. So I think for me these are small pleasures of life, Kathmandu, which enrich your life like nothing else. So they are really great.
Thank you. Thank you. Ambassador, moving on to the theme of today's program, India will be celebrating its 75 years of independence next year. What do these 75s mean to you? as an Indian citizen, and second, as an Indian diplomat?
Yeah. Well, you're right, absolutely, that we would be celebrating 75 years of India's independence next year. As an Indian citizen, and of course as an Indian diplomat, it is a matter of extreme pride and privilege to be there as an Indian when India celebrates its 75 years of independence. It is also a great privilege that one hopefully at that time would also be representing India in that as India's diplomat in Nepal. It is also a privilege not just to represent my country, but also to be able to showcase its legacy, its achievements, its progress that India has achieved over the last 7 decades or so. As you are well aware that when we became independent, we faced innumerable challenges which were complex in nature. But since then, the growth of the Indian nation, its institutions, its economy, its society has been, and I think it continues to be, a remarkable story of success. We are the largest democracy of the world and a beacon of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. We were blessed, I would say, by the galaxy of great leaders and thinkers at the time when we became independent, and of course before that during our freedom struggle, which shaped our nation once we became independent. They had diverse dreams of a magnificent future for India, and that is the future which we are seeing unfolding before our eyes these days. But common to these aspirations are the values of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Today, I would say India is a nation on the march. Our economic prosperity today provides an important pillar of growth, not just to ourselves, but also to the whole region and to the world. We produce goods and services that power the progress of developing countries. Our scientists and their research is not just meant for India, but it also serves the cause of the countries in our neighborhood and the worldwide community. Today, as you know, many sons of India today, they provide leadership to the best and the biggest of the international companies. And coming to the most recent global disaster that we just spoke about a little while ago, which is of COVID-19 pandemic. As you're aware, Indian scientists worked day and night in developing an affordable and effective vaccine. And not just developing and producing it for India, but also in particular for our neighbors, but also for the large number of other countries in the world. Some people call them as modern day Dhanvantris. I think their innovation has brought hope and relief, as I said, not just to India, but to the neighborhood and to the global community as such.
Okay. Ambassador, 75 years is an important milestone for any country. The government of India, I'm sure, is planning grand celebration. Can you please share with our listeners the preparations that are going into planning the celebrations?
Well, the preparations that are going on into planning this celebrations are nationwide in India. We as an important constituent of Indian nation abroad would also be participating and associated with these preparations. But just to highlight the context of what India at 75 means, I will reiterate the words of Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he said that the 75th Independence Day will be the celebration of the spirit of freedom struggle and the reflection of the feeling of sacrifice. He also said that it will have a glimpse of the pride of Sanatan India and the glow of modern India. We are not looking to celebrate India at 75 as a single event, as one event, but as a series of events,
Okay.
recognizing and commemorating all aspects that make India at 75. The celebrations will span over 2 years. They actually started in March this year. We had our first event just about a week, 10 days ago, and they would be ending in the month of August, in August 2023. We are calling these celebrations as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka.
Amrit Mahotsav, which I said commenced in this month. Actually, it commenced on 12th of March. And with it, we started a 75-week countdown of 75 events till 15th August 2023. So, 75 events over 75 weeks is something which we will undertake. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji himself flagged off the Freedom March Padyatra from Sabarmati Ashram culminating at Dandi in Gujarat. This was to commemorate the original Dandi March of 1930. This was done on 12th March. So 12th March was chosen as the date of launch of this Amrit Mahotsav. As of now, the focus is on 75-week countdown comprising 75 events up to 15th August 2022, which will continue. The celebrations will be around 5 agendas: freedom struggle, ideas at 75, achievements at 75, actions at 75, and resolve at 75. The Amrit Mahotsav of this Azadi celebrations will not just showcase with pride what has already been achieved, but will also act as guiding light for India during the next 25 years, which will, come at resolve at 75 and actions at 75. The year 2047 would mark the 100th anniversary of independence, and one of the 5 components of the celebration, that is resolve at 75, will involve taking a Shatabdi Sankalp, that is a century Sankalp, focusing on India's vision, aspiration of India's youth, and what India will be in the next 25 years. So it's a very elaborate, thought out, well conceptualized plan of what we would do, starting, as I said, in March this year, over the next 75 weeks.
Ambassador, that sounds like an extended and a grand plan. On behalf of Indians living in Nepal, I would like to request you to share if there are some celebrations planned with them in focus.
Oh yes, absolutely. Chaji, the Indian diaspora for us is actually as much a representative of India as anybody else from India would be. We consider each and every Indian citizen living abroad as ambassador of India. They carry with them the rich heritage and culture of India, and in turn what they do is they create goodwill for India and the Indians. Indian diaspora in India is a unique strength to reflect the Indian heritage, but it's also a unique strength which helps us to further progress the India-Nepal relationship in that sense. So Amrit Mahotsav will definitely be shared with Indian diaspora across countries, and actually that includes Nepal also. And as we begin Amrit Mahotsav celebrations, we would also be inviting the diaspora to participate digitally in the events wherever physical participation is not possible because of COVID, and see how they unfold during the year. The Government of India has launched a separate website actually for this celebration. It's called amritmahotsav.nic.in, and social media handles to update the Indians and friends of India, both within and outside the country, on the preparations going into the celebration of India at 75. Naturally, we would be reaching out separately to the Indian diaspora, but through today's podcast, I would like to request them to kindly check out the website, follow us on the social media platforms, and know more about what events are being planned for coming weeks and months ahead, and of course, wherever they can, participate in them so that they are a full success.
Okay. Ambassador, will we see celebrations in Nepal as well?
Oh, of course. we cannot celebrate India at 75 without carrying out a range of activities that are focused on Nepal, and also as a result of that focused on what the growth and what the perspective and what the future of India-Nepal relations would be. I would say that they would participate, but they would be participating, and they would be across many domains. So you would have events which would be in the cultural sphere, economic sphere, people-to-people ties, science and innovation, sports, events that highlight common prosperity, events that include the children, events that include the youth, and all of the different parts of the society. We have charted out a detailed plan of these events for these celebrations. The programs could include, as I mentioned to you, in cultural domain, various classical, folk, modern aspects of our cultural domain, social development oriented, discussion based. Some of these may be competitive events, some of these might be independent events, and for some we will also be teaming with the local partners to bring both Indian and Nepali flavors to the event. So give you one example. On Mahashivratri earlier this month, we had a classical dance recital performance in the premises of Pashupatinathji. Performance was by a local Nepali artist, but it was a proud moment for us in the Indian Embassy as the Nepali youth joined hands with us in showcasing the talent in the Indian classical forms. Yesterday we organized an all-women hike with the Maiti Foundation. Nepali women drawn from different spheres of life. We teamed up with this Maiti Nepal and organized this women hike. If all goes well, later today, we are organizing a talk on innovation, education, and environmentally sustainable technologies. So this is a conversation between Kanakmani Dikshit, who will be doing a conversation with Sonam Wangchuk of Ladakh. Sonam Wangchuk is a leading name in terms of how local initiatives at the community level can help you address the environmental challenges of Himalayan ecology. And this is a unique event because we will have a good number of 40 to 50 Nepali nationals who have studied in India to participate, and we will have 50 other media influencers, social influencers, people from civil society of Nepal will participate. So it's a unique blend of combining science, challenges that our societies face in the Himalayan ecology, bring together an Indian expert, bring together a Nepali expert, and see how we can produce something which benefits both of us. So there are several such events to come. And I would like to request your listeners to kindly follow us on our platforms. We will be putting out the details of these programs off and on when these happen. Of course, because of the COVID, we might have to tweak in as we go, tweak the plans, tweak their organization, tweaks their holding. But there is a full detailed plan which is ready for us to do these events.
Okay. Ambassador, there are many terminologies used to define relations between India and Nepal. Some say it is a relation made by God, gifted by nature, roti beti ka sambandh, and some call us brothers. How do you see this relation?
Vijay, I don't think it would be fair of me to limit the definition of our relationship to one aspect or another. I think our relationship stretches all aspects of human endeavor. Whatever a society does as an activity, you take that activity and you will find there is an India-Nepal relationship. which is very deep and rich in that field. Whether it is the field of culture, whether it is the field of people-to-people engagement, I would say people-to-people bond, not just engagement. Whether it's the relationship between our two governments, any aspect of our relationship, it is very, very deep and wide. So I think some of the links that you see between the people of our two countries, they are so profound, they are so deep, they are so inextricably linked. And I think it will therefore be impractical, maybe unfair, for me to box them into one particular category and sort of define them as such. So I think I would not go into putting a terminology on the relationship, because I think it is so deep, dense and diverse relationship that we share, that it would not be fair for me to do that. But yes, we are bound by geography, belief, language, kinship, etc. And these commonalities naturally translate the relationship between our two countries and our two people into close and friendly ties. I think ties which are unique in a sense that no other two countries in the world will enjoy the kind of relationship that India and Nepal enjoy. And I think we are quite confident that this relationship will continue to thrive, grow and progress as we go along. The recent years, I would say since 2014, have seen the relationship take a new momentum. Prime Minister Modi visited Nepal in August 2014. I'm sure you would be aware, your listeners may or may not be aware of this, that it was the first Indian Prime Minister's visit in last 17 years, before 2014. Over the past 6 or 7 years, Prime Minister Modi has visited Nepal 4 times. Prime Minister of Nepal has been welcomed in India 7 times. So in total about 11 head of the state government visits. I'm not aware of any other two countries where the engagement at such senior level has been so intense. For us, Nepal is among our foremost friend and development partner. We do something known as a high impact community development projects, which are spread all over Nepal, which are tailored to the needs of the local community. They create community assets, they benefit the communities, and they promote the socio-economic welfare at the very grassroots levels. Again, these, as I mentioned, these development projects cover diverse sectors: education, health, irrigation, drinking water, preservation of culture. Just to give an example, we are now carrying out a renovation of around 40 cultural heritage sites in Nepal which were damaged during the earthquake. So things of that nature. Connectivity between our two countries, whether it's the road network or the train network or even the air connectivity, those are also the domains which have seen enormous progress over the last 6 years. And I think the other area which has seen remarkable progress has been to provide greater energy security in Nepal, which is through the Motihari Amlekhganj petroleum pipeline, which is the first of its kind in the region. India does not have petroleum pipeline with any other country in the region, to the best of my knowledge, and it carries about 2 million metric tons of petroleum products into Nepal, which has resulted, I'm told, in a saving of about 1 billion Nepali rupees in Nepal. Similarly, there are hydropower projects, power transmission lines, integrated checkposts which facilitate the movement of trade and cargo between the two countries. The post-earthquake, the tragedy of 2015 earthquake. After that, the government of India provided for the outlay of Indian assistance of about $1 billion for earthquake reconstruction. And I must say that the progress in the reconstruction work of the projects which were undertaken post-earthquake has been very rapid, very satisfactory. The implementation of the post-earthquake reconstruction in the housing sector is nearly complete. As my Prime Minister has said repeatedly at many occasions, and our leadership has also elaborated on it, for India, Nepal is fundamental to our what we call the neighborhood first policy. India's development and modernization are incomplete and symbiotically linked to the development and modernization of Nepal. We are permanent neighbors, we are permanent friends. Our societies have been linked since time immemorial, and at the time of need and the time of happiness, like today being the festival of Holi, we turn to each other. I mean, the Holi in Kathmandu and the Holi in India, it will be difficult to distinguish, except because of COVID there are restrictions. So I think there are the range of what binds us is so huge, so vast, so deep, that anybody who tries to define it with one terminology or tries to bracket it into one category will never be able to do full justice to it. So that's my long answer to your very short question.
Ambassador, you refer to scientists who developed COVID-19 vaccine as a modern-day Dhanvantris. Taking off from there, let me share with you that the people of Nepal are immensely grateful for India's gift of COVID-19 vaccines. Nepal was one of the few countries which rolled out COVID-19 vaccination program ahead of many other developing and developed countries. Kindly share your views with our listeners on this.
Ritaji, when the COVID-19 outbreak happened, or I wouldn't say when it happened, when the world got to know of it, it happened much earlier than before the world got to know of it. The Indian scientific community diligently started working on developing the vaccine for this virus, both through the indigenous efforts as also in partnership with our global partners. When we were relatively clear in October, November that vaccine would be on horizon very shortly in coming months, that time I remember the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, was very clear in elaborating it, and he promised to the international community that India will use its vaccine production and distribution capacity, not selfishly enough only for India, but also to help the whole humanity in fighting this particular virus. So we succeeded in our efforts to develop the vaccine, but our success was not just limited to developing the vaccine. I think we also kept our promise in delivering this vaccine to our neighbors first and to the rest of the global community. So, for example, within 1 week of the vaccine rollout in India, pretty much most of our neighboring countries had received the Indian vaccine. Within 5 or 6 days of rollout in India, the vaccine was in Nepal. India gifted 1 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine to Nepal, and gift included the transportation cost of the vaccine on 21st January. I think I would say you should take vaccine as something which manifests and reflects our intent, our bond. And the intent is that whatever we do should not be for selfish cause of ourselves, but should also benefit the ones who are bonded with you, who are your friends, and not just friends in the neighborhood, but friends over the entire global community. Vaccine is something which is, how should I say, in the current atmosphere of COVID, gives, it's a hope for the people.
Yes.
So I think, when India rolled out its vaccine in India, yes, vaccine meant fighting COVID-19, but vaccine also meant great hope for the people. Hope that end of COVID is now around the corner. I think vaccine Maitri is sharing that hope with our neighbors and with the global community. Even before the vaccine, we provided extensive cooperation through protection equipment, through RT-PCR kit, through ventilators, through remdesivir injections, etc. And I think vaccine, that is just if I have got hope, then I should share that hope with others also. So I think it also shows that that when actually you hit the hard times, which COVID-19 made us all hit, I think hard times always reveal true friends also.
Yeah.
So whether it was earthquake of 2015, whether it's vaccine Maitri, as a neighbor and as a friend, we see India sees itself as Nepal's very natural, instinctive partner, friend, and of course, responder in the time of crisis. I think pandemic has been a testing time for all of us. It has stressed our societies. It has stressed our economy. But I think it's also the challenge which brought out our deep underlying bond between our two countries and our two people. I think relation between, as we mentioned as I mentioned a little bit earlier, relation between India and Nepal exists in various paradigms: religious, cultural, social, economic, political. And I think you can very safely say that vaccine Maitri is the crowning glory of in the latest phase of our partnership. It's also a commitment to India's neighborhood first policy, that the health professionals of Nepal and the people of Nepal in their fight against the pandemic receive this vaccine, so that they in turn can then help the people around them, the society and the communities in which they work, so that the population of Nepal and of course our South Asia increasingly rapidly comes out of this challenge of COVID-19.
Ambassador, last but not the least, I'd like to end our program with one question. What is the one thing that you notice in Kathmandu that you don't get to see back in India?
It's a trick question. Ritaji, I think each city is unique.
Yes.
Each city is special. Each city is different.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say something is available here and something is not available
There.
But if I was to say one thing which you have in Kathmandu which you don't have in
India.
Delhi, I mean you can't see Nepal.
Okay.
On a clear day, the sight of snow-clad Himalayas you will never get in Delhi. That you can get only in Kathmandu. So that I can categorically say you will find only in Kathmandu. Two, I would say, as sort of somebody who works at the embassy and constantly interfaces with the different parts of Nepali society, I think the pace of life is different. The pace of life in Kathmandu is different from pace of life in Delhi.
Okay.
I wouldn't say faster, I wouldn't say slower, I wouldn't say good, I wouldn't say bad, I'll say it's different. I would say these two things. Of course, there are many other things which are unique to Kathmandu, they are not there in Delhi. I mean, if I was to drop the list, I think we'll run out of time.
Okay.
I would say the unique and enriching character of Kathmandu has its own strengths, which are truly unique to itself. And I think we should cherish that.
Thank you.
Rather than diluting through comparisons with what is here, what is not here kind of thing.
Ambassador, for our young listeners who are curious about your personal likes, we have few rapid fire questions. You will not have much time to think and your answers should be quick and short.
Okay.
Number 1, favorite Nepali food, Nepali thali.
Any day.
Nepali thali.
Any day. Nepali thali.
Okay. Favorite place in Kathmandu?
I would say Patan Square.
Favorite Darbar Square?
Same, Patan Square, because it's also one of the Darbar squares.
Favorite Nepali street food?
Bara.
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 Okay, bara. Favorite Nepali dessert?
That's easy. Jojo Dahi from Bhaktapur.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Ambassador.
Don't forget my coffee. But thank you very much, Sritaji. Deeply appreciate you giving me this opportunity to be able to converse with your listeners. Today is a happy and joyous festival of Holi. So may I also take this opportunity to wish your listeners happy, colorful, socially distanced Holi.
Holi. Thank you so much, and wish you a colorful Holi from all of us, Ambassador. And thank you so much for your precious time, and you're so joyful, so happy and lucky to see you, meet you.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.